Bitcoin closes a red daily candle, and it's an important one. What it means for the direction of Bitcoin and why you should be very prepared and you should be very, very careful. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe, hit that like on the way in. Help me get some momentum with these videos, everybody. It means a lot to me. Let's jump into Bitcoin video. This is it, the red daily candle. It's right there, and we have a new green candle. It's trying. Bitcoin is trying. This just happened. This red candle just closed like 3 minutes ago. So I want to take a quick look at this clip. Now, this clip was from yesterday. Let's check this out real quick. From the 786 line of this Fibonacci resistance, or if the daily candle actually closes below the 786 line and we're actually still in resistance down here, how is this daily candle going to close? So I just wanted to show that really quick part, because the biggest thing I was looking for is whether or not Bitcoin will close this daily candle above or within the resistance channel. And you can see, if we look at the actual chart now, Bitcoin closed within it, and we did not get separation above the 786 on this Fibonacci. Now, this is a classic setup, everybody. Right now, and this is my concern, and it's really not a concern, Bitcoin to the downside does not concern me at all, but the short-term bearish move potentially in play, which I've been watching, is this setup as a lower high. We had the swing high beginning of January, lower high, and now a new lower high potentially in play. And this is a classic setup, everybody. And I've been illustrating the setup historically, just taking a really good synergistic move from 2019. I mean, this move in 2019 across the board is just so similar to what Bitcoin has been doing recently. So it only makes sense to take this data and say, hey, this is the concern, which is this potential type of lower high for continuation to the downside. Bitcoin did the same thing then on the almost identical setup. Bitcoin tested a Fibonacci resistance and failed. Now, keep in mind, when it failed, it took like 5 days or so, you can see there on this daily chart, for it to actually fail. So we're gonna have to watch this. But right now, Bitcoin is in it. We are like halfway there. We're really in this period where we have to watch the charts in the next couple of days, because I don't think Bitcoin's going to just trade sideways in this area for very long. I think we're going to get a break to the upside or downside very soon. Now, classic setup would be resistance holds, lower high is in play, and we're going to the downside in some way. What that looks like, there's many different scenarios. I want to go here. I just want to illustrate. We've been consolidating for Bitcoin. So if you start, and notice how the chart doesn't look as scary when we're starting to zoom out a little bit. We see, okay, there's room for consolidation to the downside. Even if we get a lower trend line touch at $30,000, wow, are you kidding me? What an accumulation area in terms of buying the Bitcoin dip. And that's partly part of my plan is that an accumulation. Part of a dip would be in that area down there. Now, on the way there, we have this trend line here, and this is right in the $34,000 area. Notice this newer symmetrical triangle that we've had charted, Bitcoin broke out of. A potential revisit to that trend line is so commonplace for Bitcoin before potential break to the upside. So we have a lot of continued consolidation within all of these symmetrical triangles. It is what it is. If you want to stick around, just have some patience for these things to play out. I know I'm always I'm doing video almost every day, and I can't control Bitcoin just to break out of these symmetrical triangles and break out of these patterns. Sometimes I wish it would, because it just takes patience. And we're just watching this every day. It takes time, but it gives us so much time to formulate a plan. I'm telling you, I have my plan, and everybody's always asking me, damn, when should I buy? What should I do? How should I buy? It's up to you. You have to formulate when you're comfortable. For me, in terms of accumulating Bitcoin dips, I like scaling in slowly. I like to get a little dip to a trend line and say, okay, little dip, I'll scoop up a little Bitcoin, but I'm not putting all my fiat reserve for a dip here. And if we bounce there and take off, fine. But I'll put a little there. I'll put a little here. And then, of course, my heavy buy zone would be in the kind of capitulation event where we're breaking through all these symmetrical triangles and we're in the 20,000s, which is 100% in play. But the point of technical analysis is to be completely aware of the charts, completely aware of breakout targets, so you can have that type of plan. And that's kind of what we're tracking. So when I say be prepared, when I say at the beginning of the video, be careful, it's because, recently we've had a nice rise in Bitcoin. And I think a lot of people start accumulating a lot up here, and they kind of, I guess they FOMO in a way on the short term. But if you zoom out on the charts, even on a midterm chart like this, you can see there's room for consolidation. There's better entry points for accumulation. But at the end of the day, does it really matter, right? If you're long on Bitcoin and you think Bitcoin's going to 100,000, it's not that big of a difference, right? 30,000 versus 37,000. But mentally for me, that's why I plan my buys. That's why I like buying the dips, and that kind of is what it is. So I'm waiting. I'm going to scale in, and that's just me. But this is what the charts look like. The potential for a lower high right now in Bitcoin is even more true. And the potential for this video I did, this was 5 days ago, I think January 30th, is Bitcoin about to crash. And it was my prediction. Monthly chart gives warning. This daily chart could be the stepping stone for that video that I did. And it was my prediction that Bitcoin's about to kind of come down in a dramatic way. I said I would be happy to be wrong. I just wanted to throw that out there because it's what I've been watching on the charts. But this chart right here could be the very move that kind of leads to that, right? This lower high for Bitcoin to kind of come down and test these areas. It's so bullish to me if that happens. So I know that video might come off as kind of like, oh man, Dan's talking about Bitcoin going down, but it's just so bullish. It's probably one of the last opportunities before Bitcoin absolutely explodes, and that's even if it happens. We're here on the daily chart trading with an inner resistance channel. If Bitcoin breaks away from this channel, I'll do a video talking about how bullish that is, because that would be a separation from this very classic setup of lower highs for Bitcoin. But right now we're in resistance. The resistance is that 786 right around 37,800 or so, down to the 618 right around 35,800 on the daily chart. It is there. This is the monthly chart. Gonna be so interesting as February progresses to see how all of this transpires. A lot of my case for that talk about Bitcoin dipping extends to this area on the charts. This was in the summer of 2017, namely this monthly candle in July. The setup for Bitcoin most recently, very similar to the monthly charts then. And look at that dip for Bitcoin. Bitcoin dipped to like $1,800, but actually ended the month closing green. In this month of February, we could have a dip into the 20,000s and still end up closing green. That is how volatile Bitcoin is. So a lot can happen in a week, 2 weeks, and that's what I'm watching. It's just going to take us to kind of track this thing daily and see how this plays out. But we're getting our confirmations kind of starting right here at this resistance. What will happen? You can go to the hourly chart. There's a lot going on here in terms of Bitcoin, just in this rising channel of sorts. This purple channel that we've tracked hasn't touched the lower trend line since February 1st, a few days ago. And now you can see we actually tested it. We're approaching it once again. We had this other trend line within that channel, kind of a rising wedge, breakout target around $35,000, 35,500. That could be a good area for Bitcoin to, in the very short term, consolidate to, potential bounce to the upside, test this trend line to really start tracking and getting an idea of, man, is Bitcoin in a new downward trend of lower lows and lower highs, continuing to the $34,000 area, which, if you zoom out on this chart, is that very longer term, still midterm. It's not huge, but this trend line right here. You can see how this transpires. You can see how this plays out. It's all very speculative, but the key to success is to speculate. The key to success is to envision every scenario playing out. And in this moment right now, as you watch this video and you get off this video, say to yourself, well, what should I do? What am I comfortable doing? How should I manage my money? Don't look to YouTubers to tell you how to manage your money and to tell you when to buy. I get so many questions on Twitter. Should I do it? Should I buy now? Everybody, make your own decisions. It's powerful. You'll get good at this. and you'll feel way better about your decisions as well. So let's see how this consolidates here on the hourly chart. We might get a bounce here at this lower trend line for a bounce back up. Bitcoin testing $38,000 again. And then on the daily chart, obviously, at that point, Bitcoin will be kind of starting once again to separate out of this Fibonacci resistance. But I'm telling you, this is the key area I'm watching for the next few days. So hopefully you don't get sick of me talking about it. It's so important if you're going to track Bitcoin on the daily to watch this daily chart and watch this daily resistance. It has a huge impact on the short to midterm direction of Bitcoin. We're going to continue tracking it. I appreciate you all cruising by. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.